So what's going on, guys? My name is Mr. Dalek JD, and in this video we're going to be talking about Infinite Warfare Zombies DLC 3, as it's now been officially announced by Activision and Infinity Ward that the new Zombies map, Attack of the Radioactive Thing, is going to be coming out on July 6th, which is a week today. This is the first time a DLC is ever released on a Thursday, I believe. That's been the first release of it. So in a week's time, you're able to play this brand new map, which is a new Zombies co-op experience straight out of the schlocky horror movies of the 1950s. Now, for some reason, they've not released a trailer yet for this DLC. I have no idea why. Maybe they just don't care anymore at this rate, but they did give us some information and some screenshots, and we're going to go dive deep into this straight away. So, it says, for the Attack of the Radioactive Thing, the twisted and enigmatic film director Willard Wyler is up to his shenanigans once again, and this time he zapped our fearless foursome of heroes into the 1950s with a campy horror experience titled Attack of the Radioactive Thing. The plot of this film follows a clumsy government science experiment gone wrong, turning an unsuspecting suburban populace into flesh-devouring zombies, while a newly spawned biological menace moves into the ravaged town. This action-packed chapter comes in the style of the creature feature movies of the era, so that's films such as Godzilla, for instance, and is headlined by none other than horror movie icon Elvira, or Elvira, as I should pronounce, played with voice and likeness by Cassandra Peterson. She will help players hopefully survive by giving them tips and side quests, all in her unique Elvira, or Elvira style, as they attempt to make it through this science experiment from hell. Stepping into brand new roles, our four intrepid cast of characters will become the scientist, the rebel, the soldier, and the schoolgirl as they battle all new zombies while sporting classically cool 1950s attire. If you're hip to that jive, then just try to stay alive in Attack of the Radioactive Thing. Now, that's straight from the Activision blog post, but there is a press release from Activision as well, which words it a little bit differently, which says that our four protagonists are trapped inside an all-new horror film set in the 1950s and inside the creature feature films, and they're going to fight zombies across a ravaged beach town, which we now know from the calling cards to be called Sonova Beach, which is a fictional beach taking place in California during the 1950s. And we're going to be battling a new array of zombie enemies across this town, where a government science experiment has transformed the residents into zombies and introduced a new biological menace into the city, which we can only assume to be what the title of this zombie map is based around, which is this supposed giant mutated, just crazy monster that's going to be living in the ocean. It mentions that there's new weapons, traps, and more, which augment the hallmark Call of Duty action, with all of our normal characters making a return from the ongoing story in this all-new experience. From these two press release screenshots we've seen, you can see this really is very different from a normal IW Zombies map. I mean, IW Zombies is not normal anyway, but I've never really ever thought of seeing zombies by a beach and legitimately next to a beach. You can see there's like sand and rocks and plants and water behind these zombies, and like a classic sort of 1950s straight out of Black Ops 2 Zombies diner. Imagine transit before it was destroyed and in the 1950s by a beach. It's kind of giving me those vibes with this second screenshot here, and we can see some interesting zombies, some which look straight out of the 50s with that sort of greaser style hair. And if we look at our characters, they are in some very interesting roles, including AJ as that greaser character. Besides that, we don't really get any more information about this map. Now, it's weird because Infinity Ward tweeted out yesterday saying, like, if you're wanting to hear news about DLC 3, hang tight, there'll be something coming tomorrow, and it seems like that's all we've gotten. It doesn't seem like a trailer is bound anytime soon, but if we look through some of the calling cards, we can work out some other things to expect in the map. And for some reason as well, Infinity Ward have decided to include the secret song for this map within their latest PC patch, so I'm not going to link you to it, but we can look through some of the lyrics of that song just to help us get a bit more clarification on the storyline. I think the big thing that we're asking is there going to be like any new perks, because they've mentioned new weapons, and we can see from the calling cards there's some sort of wonder weapon called the MAD, which is the Modular Atomic Disintegrator, which sounds, you know, pretty damn awesome. And if they go back to the way they've done the pistols in Spaceland, with this thing being extremely powerful, then I'm really excited for this weapon. But yeah, we got a new perk, Deadeye Dewdrops, within Shaolin Shuffle, and I mean, it took till DLC 2 for them to introduce a new perk, but I feel like now they've got through the swing of things, they're not going to just suddenly drop one new perk and that's it, and I feel like they're going to do another. Now, within the calling cards, there's something which is called Change It Up, which is to earn a kill with all 4 change chews in a single game. Now, I have no idea what this is. When I hear it, it sounds something like a gobble gum, but if you think about change chews and how these perks even work, the perks in this game work by you eating candy, so which are called candy perks. So in a way, if you're buying a little box of candy like the perk boxes are in this game, then change chews sounds like a perk to me. I've no idea what it could do. I don't know what else change chews could relate to, so I'm going to go out on the limb and say this could be the most likely thing related to a perk. Let me know what you think, guys, down below. Do you think change chews sounds like a perk? It does and it doesn't, because it says with all 4 change chews, which is something which I don't understand. It's like a perk that can change. It just doesn't sound plausible, but it's the only thing I can think of right now. The press release said we'll also be building new traps, and there's a challenge with involving killing enemies with crafted traps. So it sounds a bit like Spaceland. We'll be able to craft loads of our own traps, and maybe there's stuff around the map which can be used as traps, but they aren't quite usable. That way we have to craft them, and maybe we can upgrade the traps. That sounds really cool. We also know that there is a melee weapon which is a crowbar, as well as a cleaver, which are 2 new melee weapons we've not seen before. And you know, they had a lot of them in Rave in the Redwoods, but it just sounds like these are going to be things which we might either find in the box, which will be useful melee weapons, or maybe they might be lying around. We'll have to do a small quest in order to gain access to these melee weapons, because if you think about it, getting a melee weapon before round 10 is really overpowered if you don't have to pay for it. There's also a challenge for defeating the radioactive thing, which of course is related to the main boss, and we do see one image of these calling cards which could be related to what this boss will look like, but the calling card is related to killing brutes, which is these new versions of the brutes called Krog brutes, but we can imagine that these are just going to be a smaller version of the overall boss. And there's one final challenge called cracking eggs, which literally just says shoot down those eggs, and there's no like real relation to what it is. We just have the huge monster within the calling card, so maybe there's some eggs which are maybe hatching and may produce more of the radioactive things, or there could be little eggs on the boss which we have to destroy. Maybe there is some sort of little mini Easter egg involved, perhaps with the new version of Ghosts and Skulls, which is called Skull Hop, apparently via the trophies. It's interesting. I want to gauge your interest down below in the comment section. Do you guys care any more about Infinite Warfare's DLC season, or are you excited? Because for me personally, I'm excited to play a brand new zombies map, bearing in mind whenever we find the Easter egg, that's probably going to be the most we'll play off the map, because I don't find these maps to have a lot of replayability, but that is just my own personal opinion. But I do really enjoy these new zombie maps every time they come out, so you guys can be sure to expect that when this map does drop on July 6th, it's going to be a ton of live streams and videos showcasing tutorials and also trying to find this main Easter egg, because it sounds like this boss fight is going to be pretty damn sick. If you enjoyed this video at any point in time, you were informed and you're excited for Attack of the Radioactive Thing, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, drop a thumbs up, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time.